I'm Tracy Baxter with today's Record Newswatch. They came to say goodbye to a tiny victim of apparent violence. Funeral services were held this morning at the Seventh-day Adventist Church in Kingston for little Seth Knox Jr., the month-old infant who died June 17th, 4 days after suffering severe head injuries while under the care of a family friend during a visit with his father in Albany. The babysitter, 18-year-old Kiamesha Taylor of Port Ewan, was charged with murder following the baby's death at Albany Medical Center. Seth Knox Jr. was buried at St. Mary's Cemetery across the street from his mother Asia Gordon's apartment at Colonial Gardens in Kingston. State police in Sullivan County today released the names of the two drivers from the fatal collision involving a garbage truck and tractor trailer rig along Route 42 in Kiamesha Lake early Monday afternoon. Investigators say 57-year-old James Eaton of High Falls was driving the Estes Express tractor trailer that veered into the oncoming lane and crashed into the garbage truck. The rig's cab section was torn off on impact and the trailer section overturned. Eaton was pronounced dead at the scene. The driver of the waste management garbage truck, 48-year-old Brett Labs of Hawley, Pennsylvania, had to be extricated from the wreckage. He was then airlifted to Westchester Medical Center, where he remains in critical condition with chest and leg injuries. Divers called to Bear Mountain State Park recovered the body of a drowning victim late Monday afternoon. 16-year-old New York City high school student Jean-Fritz Pierre drowned in Hessian Lake after he and another teen had broken away from classmates who were at the park on a class trip. The boy's body was discovered about 8 feet from shore. Witnesses said he had been diving off a rock into the lake located near the Bear Mountain Inn. Pierre was a student at International High School in Brooklyn. Signs are posted around the lake telling park visitors that swimming is prohibited. A word to the wise to Middletown residents: keep your car doors locked and any valuables in your vehicle out of sight. That from City Police Department officials who say there have been at least a dozen reported larcenies from vehicles in the past 2 weeks alone, most of them involving cars left unlocked. In the others, windows were smashed to get at items left in plain sight. 3 vehicles have also been stolen in the past couple of weeks, one of them a vehicle left running. And Middletown police urge you to report any suspicious activity. You can see them every Friday, a team of firefighters trained as code inspectors, checking out buildings and writing up violations. It's part of a campaign in the city called Newberg Strong, aimed at improving neighborhoods through enforcement of new and updated city ordinances. Last Friday's tour brought inspectors to Lander Street. Last month alone, close to 2,000 violations were identified during 435 exterior building inspections. Fire Chief Michael Vatter calls the initiative a path to rebuilding Newberg's neighborhoods. But not everybody sees it that way. Critics call it the latest in a long-running war on landlords. Reporter Doyle Murphy will have the full story on the program and reaction in an upcoming edition of the Times-Herald Record. Henry Perilla has become the latest person to be arrested as part of Sullivan County's efforts to crack down on welfare fraud. The 51-year-old Monticello resident was charged with the felonies of offering a false instrument for filing and welfare fraud, following an investigation that, according to police, revealed that Perilla had fraudulently received Medicaid benefits. Police say Perilla had claimed his father was living with him in Monticello when his father had been residing in Columbia since 2010. The hills are alive with the sounds of cicadas. Residents in some parts of our region, including rural neighborhoods in places like Cornwall and Cornwall on Hudson, have been serenaded by the loud humming noise of the flying critters who appear every 17 years. Personnel at restaurants in the Cornwall area told us that outdoor diners have not been feeling too put out by the sight and the sound of the insect infestation. But those sightings and the noise is beginning to fade out and will soon be disappearing completely for another 17 years. And they were lining up for today's 12 noon opening at Maple Hill Park in Middletown earlier today. The early birds were the first to hit the water during what figured to be a very busy day at Middletown's community swimming pools. The pools in Middletown opened for the season on Monday. Perfect timing when you consider we are now in the midst of an early summer heat wave. and it's turning out to be the perfect way for these lucky kids to enjoy the first few days of their summer vacation. Unfortunately, uncomfortable weather conditions will stick around for another day at least. It'll be hot and humid again tomorrow, with the highs Wednesday expected to reach the low 90s. Thursday will be partly sunny and not quite as hot, with temperatures in the middle 80s. And there remains the chance of strong thunderstorm activity late in the day, both days. We'll keep tabs on the weather as well as breaking news right here at Record Online, and get on edge on the day by starting it with the Times-Herald Record. For Record Newswatch, I'm Tracy Baxter.